Salutations, readers. Welcome back to the City Go Writer channel. My name is Nkechi, and for today, we're doing the mid-year book tag 2023 edition. Now, we do have a lot of questions to get through. We have 15 in total. I have no idea who are the original creators, so if anyone can let me know down in the comments below, please, I would really appreciate it. But anyways, we'll get through these 15 questions. I'll be looking through with the questions and my answers to it from my own reading journal. So that's what this is here. So if you see me looking down, it's because I'm consulting the questions and my answers here. And honestly, wow, we're already halfway through the year already. Like, dang. Like, y'all, 2023 is going by fast. Anyways, let's get to the questions. First up, best book of the year so far. So a lot of these questions will have multiple answers for various reasons. And for this one, we actually have two books. A Minor Chorus by Billy Ray Belcourt and Sarah Land by River Solomon. This book was actually the best book of January, and this book was the best book in February. Of course, I will link up, I think in the cards and possibly in the description, the playlist of all my wrap-ups. So if y'all want any thoughts for any of these books, not just for these books, for any other books that I talk about further on, definitely look towards those, that playlist and those videos. So this one for January, this is a queer lit fic book, actually. It is, Billy Ray Belcourt is a two-spirit author. He is indigenous and specifically from, well, what is known as modern day Canada. And River Solomon is black, non-binary, and this is an adult gothic horror with a sci-fi element. And I actually just thought these books were just the best. Mostly, I mean, this one's for its writing and also for the subject matter that we're following an unnamed protagonist who, what is this? I'm already forgetting. Oh yeah, a doctoral student. Yes, the protagonist is a queer indigenous doctoral student who steps away from his dissertation to write a novel. And it's pretty much a little bit of pretty much about all that, and pretty much going through northern Alberta to talk about people, to figure out what to write a novel about. And actually is so good. And it's also really short. I really do recommend Billy Ray Belcourt as an author just to pick up. And definitely you can start with the Minor Chorus to see if he's the author for you. And then we have Sarah Land by River Solomon. This is actually the second book I've read by this author. I have read their debut in On Kindness of Ghosts last year, but I really love Sarah Land. This one follows Vern, who's 16 years old, and she gave birth to twins in the woods, and she pretty much ran away from a cult, and it's pretty much a story about all of that. And I really love the horror in here. It's queer as well. Both of these books are queer. Okay, both of them are queer. This one's just gothic horror with sci-fi element, and this one's just contemporary lit fic, okay? So, like, y'all, I'm telling y'all, please read these books. These were really good. I love this for the writing. I really love this not only for the genre, but also for the character, for Vern. Like, I really liked her tenacious spirit, and also be like, yeah, this is just me, okay? We're trying to survive here. I was here for it, okay? I was here for it. But definitely look up content warnings for both of these books. Any book I tend to read, honestly, look up the content warnings, okay? Just for fair warning. Next question. Best sequel you've read so far this year? Now, I haven't really been reading a lot of sequels, but I have been starting them unintentionally and intentionally. But as far as the best sequel, I can only think of two right now. And for some of y'all, it'll be no surprise. We have Harold the Ninth by Tamsin Muir, but we also have The Art of Dying by Ambrose Parry. Harold the Ninth is the sequel to Gideon the Ninth, and this is the second installment in the Locked Tomb series. I've been talking about all these books for a while now. I'm in love. I mean, this is actually, literally, when I tell you this is the best sequel, this is literally the best sequel, okay? I loved this book. This is my favorite in all of the installments so far in this series, this one. And then we have The Art of Dying. This is only the most recent Ambrose Parry book I have read. I do own the third one, and this one is the sequel to the Raven and Fisher mystery series. This is pretty much like giving Sherlockian mystery. We're actually in Edinburgh, Scotland. We're following a doctor, Dr. Will Raven, and we have Sarah Fisher, and they have to work together to solve these mysteries. They're usually murders and stuff like that. It takes place, again, late 1840s, early 1850s, Edinburgh, Scotland. Definitely content warning, though, for medical content, because it's not just because of the profession that our protagonists are going into or already in. It's also for the fact that Dr. Will Raven is trying to be like not quite a midwife, but someone that, like helps women to deliver babies and pregnancy and all that stuff. So if that's not something you are privy to or don't want to read about, because there are lots of birth scenes, because that's just the nature of the protagonist's profession. So definitely forewarning on that one. And this one gore, violence. There's just a lot. There's a lot in this series, all right? So definitely look up, again, content warnings for both of these books, but I do recommend these, please. I need more people to read this series. I don't see a lot of people talk about these books, so please read these ones. All right, next question. New release you haven't read yet but want to. Now, I have several books on my physical TBR that I have right behind me that are new releases that I have not read yet. Even new releases from last year I have not read yet. But I'm going to think of these three in particular. These three books because they have something all in common. So we have these three books here. We have Bad Cree by Jessica Johns. She is a haunting and Natural Beauty. What do these three books have in common? They're all horror books. All three of these books are horror. I don't know. For some reason, I'm in my horror era right now. So I'm just like, I want to prioritize these ones. These are ones they are new releases. I'm just like, look, I really want to read y'all this year. I don't know when I'm going to read y'all. I don't quite remember what Bad Cree is supposed to be. I think this is something to do. This was written by an indigenous author, though. I know that for sure. And something about dreams. Yes, this is a horror debut from a Cree woman whose dreams lead her on a journey to confront the toll of a legacy of violence on her family, her community, and the land they call home. So that sounds really, really cool. I actually am very intrigued with the stuff with the dream stuff because I actually am intrigued when it comes with dreams and novels. At least if I know that it actually is a dream, so I'm intrigued. She's a haunting. This one is a YA gothic horror novel. It's also queer as well. And I don't know. I saw this, and also the end pages are very, very pretty. Like, what is up with that? Okay, this is pretty. All I know is we're following Jade, who goes to Vietnam, right, to visit her estranged father. And I think we find out something about the house that her father lives in Vietnam, and something about it is very unsettling, very gothic horror, which I am here for. And also, I don't really read a lot of YA horror. Then again, I don't read a lot of YA books in general, but I am indeed at least intrigued with getting into YA horror. So we'll see if this one works for me. I have hopes. And then we have Natural Beauty. This is another horror. I think this might be also another debut, because I think all these are debuts as well. Dang. This one follows a young musician into an elite, beauty-obsessed world where perfection comes at a staggering cost. And honestly, I've pretty much heard about this book because of Monty from It's Monty Price here on YouTube. And the way that he actually gave this 5 stars, I was like, Monty gave this 5 stars? I am very much intrigued. I must learn more. So I hope I will like it. I have heard this is a really weird, trippy book. And I'm like, you know what? Clearly, I'm in my weird, trippy book era this year. So, I think this will fit the bill. We'll see. All these books are very much weird, trippy, interesting kind of horror books. And I am intrigued to see what I would think about these books. All right, question number 4. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year. So, I do have 3. I mean, of course, I have several anticipated releases. But I think these 3 are I'm really actively looking forward to reading these books whenever I can. So first up, we have The Water Outlaws by S.L. Huang. This one comes out August 22nd. The only thing I know about this is that it's martial arts. And honestly, y'all, I was starting to really forget what the synopsis is for this book. I actually am actively forgetting it. I do know this is fantasy. I know this is a Tor.com book, which I do tend to really enjoy Tor.com fantasy books, so I think I'll be fine. I did try to read one of S.L. Huang's, novellas. I did DNF it, but I did like the writing in it, so I am looking forward to it. Even though I don't remember what it's going to be about, but hey, I'm still looking forward to it, okay? I don't care. The cover was really pretty. It had a really cool sounding premise. I'm going to wait for whenever my library gets a copy. Okay, my next and most anticipated release is Foul Heart Huntsman by Chloe Gong. This one comes out September 26th. This is literally the final installment in the Foul Lady Fortune duology, and also the last book in the whole Secret Shanghai universe, which includes, These Fine Delights, Our Violent Ends, Foul Lady Fortune, Last Fine Call, and now Foul Heart Huntsman. This is pretty much just a continuation of the events of Foul Lady Fortune, with a little bit of added context from Last Fine Call if you've read those novellas. And honestly, I'm just here for pretty much to see how Chloe Gong's gonna end up pretty much wrap up all of these YA books, because yeah, that's pretty much it, because she's gonna start publishing her Antony and Cleopatra inspired fantasy series now, which actually does come out in July, so also looking forward for that one too. But my third most anticipated release is Spy Family Volume 10. I've already read Volume 9 this year. I think I read it in March, so I am looking forward to Volume 10, and I've seen the cover for Volume 10, and I'm already worried. I was like, oh, so Volume 10 is looking real dark over here. So yeah, looking forward to that. And if I remember correctly, Volume 10 comes out October 17th. All right, next question. Biggest disappointment? Y'all, I will have to say this year has not been the greatest in general. I have found some great reads, but I have actually found more books to be disappointed by, which I actively did not think I will get that this year. But I actually have 3 books. I am surprised that one of the books I've read recently was not on this list, but honestly, I've definitely read books that were worse than that, so I'm like, yep, we're going to put the biggest disappointment. First up, we have Dawn of the Moon Goddess. Now, as I'm recording this, my May wrap-up and June wrap-up is not up yet, so I'm not going to dive into my full reasons why this was a big disappointment. Only for me to say that this was a big disappointment. That book was not for me. I don't think it's a bad book per se, but it is not a book for me at all. And then this other one, this is another, this is actually from a book that I really had high hopes, though, was Teen Titans Robin. Y'all, I reread not the entire graphic novel series, but I did read the 3rd installment, which is Teen Titans Beast Boy Loves Raven, and I did not like it as much as I thought I would. And then I read the 4th book in series, and I was like, what were we doing? Like, this was in my March wrap-up, but like, y'all, that book wasted my damn time. Why were we, like, I felt like the book had no idea what was it doing with its time. Like, we were literally wasting pages. Half the graphic novel is just Dick Grayson and Damian Wayne just having a dick measuring contest, but really it's because of Damian. Like, Damian was actually the worst part of this graphic novel. He's such a little shit that I'm just like, I don't give a damn about you. So, yeah, that was just a damn waste of time. I have talked about this series in general more so on my Instagram, so you can definitely check that out. I think I'll link that post specifically down below. So yeah, but yeah, that was no. And then we have the Obelisk Gate. Yeah, the 2nd installment in the Broken Earth trilogy. Honestly, that 2nd book really made me think that maybe I should just DNF the series, because what the hell was this book? I'm trying to think to myself, what about this book was that disappointing? First of all, the structure of it, the way we kind of should focus, because if you've read the 5th season and then you get to Obelisk Gate, structurally is definitely different. Which I'm like, okay. And then we got some perspectives that I'm just like, I do not care for, but, you know, we're here. Did not care for, I was only here for one character, and I did not care for these other 2 characters' perspectives. But I am, as I'm recording, I am currently reading the Stone Sky. So I have continued on with this series, but that 2nd book maybe unhauled the books I already had. Like, I unhauled the entire trilogy because of my reading experience with that 2nd book. Bye bye to those physical books. But anyways, let's move from the disappointing reads to more better stuff, to the biggest surprise. I actually have 4 books that surprised me. I mean, there's definitely more books for sure, but I'm going to talk about these 4 books in particular. We'll go 2 at a time. First up, we're going to talk about Getting the Knife by Tamsin Muir. We have The Vanished Birds by Simon Jimenez. I've talked at length with this series, and honestly, I am still shocked at how much I really enjoyed it, to the point I really am continuing on. Like, y'all don't, like, do any of you understand how weird this series is? Why did I like it? It just clicked in my brain, okay? It just worked for me. I don't know what else to say. I don't know, okay? I don't know. And then we have The Vanished Birds by Simon Jimenez. I have heard a little bit about Simon Jimenez, more so on Instagram, but that's really because of, like, someone I follow on Bookstagram really raves a lot by Simon Jimenez. So, you know, there's some influence there. But when I really read this, especially via audio, I was like, this was actually really, really good. Like, I was surprised. Like, these books were in a very similar genre, okay? These are, like, sci-fi, fantasy-ish space operas, and I didn't know what space opera was until I read these books. And I was like, oh, I think I actually like space operas. At least these types of space operas. I mean, sure, we have some really weird lesbian necromancers and stuff, but this one is really just about following people, a group of people, going through time and space and following that with music and stuff, and having a found family. Like, the found family in here is, like, really, really good. And this is definitely a book I really want to reread. Like, the more I keep looking at this book, I'm just like, I need to reread you and, like, annotate you. Again, I recommend these books. I mean, I'm hesitant to recommend this one, but I still think that you could give this a try, but if you don't like this one, definitely don't continue on with the series. Just don't. But this one, though, I could definitely recommend it. And also, this is not even a part of a series. It is a whole standalone. So, let's have commitment. And then we have 2 more books as well. We have The Way of All Flesh by Ambrose Parker, the first installment in the Raven and Fisher mystery series. And then we have Silver Under Nightfall by Rin Shepeko. This one really did surprise me. This one I also read in May, so you will all find that out more. My thoughts in my May-June wrap-up. I really was only really intrigued because it was vampire, so I was like, okay, I could try it. And also I heard that this also has a polyamorous romance, which I'm just like, vampires and polyamory, I mean, it goes hand in hand, okay? It makes sense. But I was just really surprised at how much I really enjoyed the romance. If you don't know me, if you're new here, just know I am not a romance reader, or even as a subplot. I'm not usually a big fan of it. If I'm even just fine with it, that's a good sign. But if I'm really enjoying it, that's even like, whoa, what is going on? What is up with this book here? I don't even know. But all I know is this is the first in a series. This is actually first in a duology, so the second book is coming out, I think, in October. So I'm definitely continuing on to the sequel. So looking forward to that. And then this book is, again, first in a series. I've already talked about the second book. I need to read the third book, and there will be a 4th installment coming out in September of this year. So I'm definitely looking forward for that too. So yeah, these 2 books definitely surprised me. Like, I didn't think I would really like a historical crime mystery, or even mysteries in general. And then I was really surprised by the romance aspect of this romance. It's not even a romance book, though. That's the thing too. Like, this is not a romance book. This is really like a horror mystery kind of book. And very much queer as well. All right, next question. Favorite new author, debut or new to you? Well, honestly, I've already kind of talked about these authors as far as their books. First up, we have Billy Ray Belcourt, the author who wrote A Minor Chorus and also the poetry collection, This World is a Wound, I think is what it's called, which I did really like. I'm not really big on poetry, but I did like the poetry collection, and I do want to read A History of My Brief Body. I think that's is that a memoir? I think that's the memoir one, and I really want to read that one. And then we have Simon Jimenez. I mean, again, I talked about The Vanished Birds, how much I really want to reread that one. And then currently I'm reading The Spirit Cuts Through Water, which is his sophomore novel. And y'all, that book is so good. I'm still reading it, despite the fact I have been reading it for a long minute now. But I'm still loving it, okay? Like, Simon Jimenez is just, the way he just writes, not just structurally, but just like, that's just the writing itself is just so good. In the way that he conveys emotions and atmosphere and the themes is just so good that I'm just like, you need to have more books out. Like, what's up with that? You only got 2 books? Have more books, please. Del Rey, can you, like, well, I want more books. I want more books by Simon Jimenez, okay? Same thing but with Billy Ray Belcourt. I want to read more works, okay? And this other author as well, Tamsin Muir. I don't know if it's because of the Locked Tomb series or what, but, like, something about these books is just making me come back for them more and more. And I actually did read a novella by Tamsin Muir, which I'll talk about in my May-June wrap-up. But I did indeed enjoy it. It is definitely the same writing, but definitely with a different world and stuff. But I'm like, I'm here for it. Especially if I read those books via audio. And Moira Quirk has to narrate. Like, if y'all need to understand, if I read anything by Tamsin Muir and it's via audio, Moira Quirk better be that narrator. Like, those two, they go hand in hand, okay? They go hand in hand. I don't expect nobody else. I'm like, If it says Tamsin Muir's name and Moira Quirk's name is not right next to it, I don't want it. I do not want it. Point blank. All right, next question. This question I honestly don't really like because it really does not pertain to me, and I don't know if it ever pertained to anyone, but it's the newest fictional crush, which, if you don't know, I am Aero Ace. I don't really get crushes, not even just with real people, but also fictionally. I don't really get new crushes. I would get favorite characters, but not really a new crush. So I kind of changed this one to be more regarding kinship, or like if I have a particular bond with a character, which it could be similar to the newest favorite character question, but we're bending this one, okay? Because what is this question? What are we supposed to do with it? So I definitely want to say Armiger Remington Pendergast, the main character of Silver Under Nightfall. Y'all, this protagonist, I really want to protect Remy, okay? He's a character that deserves the world and protection. I'm just like, yes, it's okay, Remy! I'm like, look, y'all, please. I'm just like, the way I bonded with this character, I was like, dang, the way I bonded to you, the way that Remy, I'm just like, dang. I don't think I'm explaining this correctly, but like, there's just know that there's just a lot of emotion when it comes with Remington, and I really am looking forward to this sequel, y'all. I am looking forward to seeing more about this character's journey. Like, you don't understand. Like, I am just here for it. I am here for it. I just am, okay? And then we have, well, not Gideon and Nav. Sorry, y'all. Not Gideon and Nav. But we have another character, a side character, actually, in the Locked Tomb series. Palamedes Sextus. He is the necromancer for the 6th house. I really like Palamedes. Like, he's a smart cookie, okay? He is so smart. And the way that how he views, not quite like the world, but really just the way he just views things in general. Like, I just really like hearing him talk with his mind. Like, I just really like his mind, okay? And also with his bond with Camilla. Top notch, okay? Top notch. I'm just here for it. That's just it. But seriously, though, can we please get a new question? Can we rephrase this question or something to something else? Because I don't like that question. But anyways, here's one of my very favorite questions. Newest favorite character, which is given the same world in the Locked Tomb series again. Hera Hark, Nona Gesimus. Y'all, this is my favorite book in the Locked Tomb series, mostly because of the fact that Hera Hark, we're following Hera Hark's journey. Hera Hark and I don't know what it is. Something about her character really touched me and deeply just grabbed at me, being like, oh yeah, this is you, okay? I don't know how, but this character is like you. And I'm just like, hold up now? How is she me? Keep reading. And I'm like, ooh. Yeah, Hera and I are pretty similar to some aspects. And I'm just, or most aspects. I don't even most aspects. And I'm just like, yeah, okay, sure, great. So, you know, we're very similar for better or for worse, so it is what it is. But yes, I love Hera Hark. I love our little gay emo girl here. Slightly depressed nun here, okay? I'm a goth. Like, I'm here for her. I'm here for Hera, which is why I'm really looking forward to when we get to Electa the Ninth, because we gotta see more of her journey, okay? We gotta know more what happens to her. Alright, next question. A book that made you cry. Now, I'm gonna be real honest with y'all. I don't really cry in books. It's very, very rare. And I mean rare, I mean like blue moon rare for me to cry in books. I can definitely feel emotional. You know, that's definitely happened many times. But crying, like actual tears coming down my eyes, that is very rare. Especially in the first half of the year, extra rare. Like last year, the only book I cried was J Legacy. But I read that later in the second half of the year. But this year, though, this one snuck up on me. This one, okay? Lake Lore. That book made me cry. I read this one via audio. I didn't even know what the book was about, to be honest. I just had it on hold on Libby for some reason, and I was like, okay, cool. It was like, oh, this is a 6-hour audiobook, and I know it's YA. Maybe it's fantasy or something. Sure, why not? Only for me to feel so emotional. I mean, I was also feeling pretty low as well, but the book just really, it just made me actually it just felt like I needed to be held. I needed to be seen. And I'm definitely going to talk more about this for sure in that wrap up, but y'all, that book just snuck up on me. I'm like, what the hell? How did that happen to me? And I didn't even cry one time. I cried 2, 3 times. I cried multiple times. Jay Legacy, I only cried one time in that book. Lake Lore, I cried 2, 3 times. What is up with that? I did not ask for this. Okay, I did not ask for all of this. But yeah, that book made me cry. I was like, dang. Just dang. But anyways, next question. Book that made you happy. Actually, I have several books for this one, so great. First up, Spy Family Volume 9. Y'all, I really love this series. I really love this manga series. I always have fun every single volume. And this one in particular really had me, I really like this one for sure though. As you see in the cover, we have Becky here. She's such a fun character. She's so funny. Okay, she's really funny. There's actually a lot of things in here that just made me really laugh, and I'm just like, this is so cute. This is so adorable. I love this for them. I just love it for the family, and I'm here for the family and for the found family, for this fake family. I'm just here for all of it, okay? I'm here for all the journeys and stuff. So we have Spy Family, and then we have Nona the Ninth, the third installment in the Locked Tomb series. This one just really made me happy because of the kind of protagonist that we were following. And also just the general theme for this book really is about love and rebirth and connection and stuff like that. And honestly, it just really touched me. I was like, I really like this. Despite the fact that there was definitely a lot of dark stuff that were happening behind the scenes and all the things, but it still genuinely just made me happy because it just was like a different kind of tone, and we're also in a different place than we are usually in the Locked Tomb series. So it was just really nice to kind of get a different perspective on the Locked Tomb as a whole. So really looking forward to this, and I know that Electo is definitely going to destroy me, so yay. And another book also that made me happy was Last Violent Call, which is pretty much just a combination of 2 novellas set in the Secret Shanghai universe. So this is like the one that takes place during Final Lady Fortune, but also, no, not during. After Final Lady Fortune, but also during Foul Heart Huntsman, depending on which on the novella. And this one made me happy because it really made me realize on how much I actually missed the world of like these Violent Delights. How much I really did miss the characters. I missed Roma and Juliet, Benedict and Marshall. More so Benedict and Marshall. Like those two were like my favorite characters in the original duology. Okay, I go hard for those two. Look, Celia still has a special place in my heart, but like those two, they up here. Okay, they are up here for me. Roma and Juliet, they're still fun too. You know, I still like them. They're still good. I'm like, dang, I actually did miss them. I definitely want to reread this series, but I'm going to reread Foul Heart Huntsman first, but before I do a reread. But so it just made me happy to just see these familiar characters in this world where they're already happy and stuff. So I'm here for it. I'm just here for it. All right, next question. Favorite adaptation you saw this year? So I'm going to be making this kind of a cheat. And I'm saying kind of a cheat solely for the fact that they do work, but they don't work in a conventional way, kind of way. All right. So first up, we have The Prince of Egypt, 1998. This is pretty much an adaptation of Moses' story from the book of Exodus, which is a book in the Bible. I am counting this one solely because of the fact that this is supposed to be an adaptation. Okay, this is actually supposed to adapt from that story. And they did that one justice, okay? 10 out of 10 movie. I recommend it. If you don't even have to be Christian to even understand or even enjoy this movie. You really don't. You could be here for just the sole story of just 2 brothers that are going to be in opposing sides, and they have to pretty much go against each other based on their like religion and their faith. So if that's interesting to you, definitely watch it. Also, great animation. I know it came out in 98, but it's still really good. The songs slap hard, okay? They slap hard. My favorite songs, Deliver Us, Through Heaven's Eyes, and The Plagues. Yo, the Plague song is literally the best one, okay? Please watch this movie if you haven't seen it yet. There's another movie. This one actually literally just came out in June. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, the second installment in the Spider-Verse trilogy. The first one, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. This one's Across the Spider-Verse. Yo, I watched that on premiere day. 10 out of 10. Great. Had a great time. I definitely plan to rewatch this one. Whichever it's in theaters or whenever it gets on DVD, Blu-ray, whichever one, I am rewatching this one because they're so many O's for this character, for Miles. I'm here for Miles' story. And I'm also here for Gwen, you know? And to see some other peeps that we saw from the first film. And then also seeing more peeps. We saw Miguel, we saw Jessica Drew, we saw Spider-Punk. We saw so many other people. I was like, yeah, you know what? This is great. Animation, top notch. Soundtrack slaps as hard. Score also slaps. Like, y'all just gotta be there for the experience. If you're not even that big on Spider-Man, just be here for the experience. Definitely watch the first film first. Don't come to this sequel without watching the first film. You have to watch the films back to back like that. Like, it's a must, okay? And I'm counting it for the adaptation because, again, it's Spider-Man. Marvel, you know, the Marvel comics with Spider-Man, and all of these people are still part of ongoing comic series, so it counts, okay? This one counts. Just like Prince of Egypt counts, I'm counting for this one too. And then now we're going to talk about a TV show, because this is really talking about adaptation. So I was like, well, we could talk about films, we could talk about TV, because especially with a lot of TV adaptations now, that counts. And this was a TV one, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, because it's adapted from the comics from Marvel. Again, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. And honestly, I love this one. Okay, if y'all don't know what this one is about, we're following Lunella Lafayette, a 13-year-old girl from Lower East Side of New York. And she opens up a portal, and it brings in a red dinosaur named Devil. She pretty much just wants to, like, pretty much be a superhero and pretty much be, like, a neighborhood hero, you know? And she's, like, the literally smartest person in the world, at least as a 13-year-old girl, okay? Like, I am here for it. And also, Black Girl Magic, Moon Girl Magic, let's go. Also, the soundtrack slaps as... That soundtrack slaps as hell, okay? I recommend the songs, especially the theme song. Moon Girl Magic, let's go. Anyways, again, yes, please, I recommend y'all. That one is on Disney Plus. Across the Spider-Verse is still in theaters. I do not know when it will be on digital. So if you can't watch things in theaters, if you can go to a theater, please watch it if you can. Prince of Egypt, I think you can watch it on Hulu. And yeah, that's the only place I know of, unless you already have the DVD. So yeah. But anyways, yeah, those are my favorite adaptations, and I'm counting them because they are adapted or based off of characters. Whether it's from my famous intellectual property or for something else, I'm like, I am counting it because adaptation is an adaptation, okay? All right, next question. Favorite video you have done so far? And honestly, I had to think about this one a little bit, because I had to think really retrospectively of like the videos I have posted up this year, and on which videos am I really proud of. And honestly, I can say for sure two for sure. First one, reading 100 pages a day for a week reading challenge. And if you haven't seen it, I'll definitely will link it up in the cards and put it down in the description for y'all. I'm proud of it because not just really like, if anything, editing wise or whatever I said, it was really just the actual challenge of trying to see of me reading 100 pages a day. So I definitely recommend y'all to actually check out that video if you haven't seen it. Just like see the journey of just like, you know, sometimes when you pressure yourself to read a lot, you actually just start to dislike reading or you burn yourself out. So definitely just take the time to just read. It's okay if you don't read every day. You're still a reader regardless. So yeah, actually, I definitely learned something from that, from doing that video. And then actually a video that I am also pretty proud of is actually one of my most recent videos, which was me talking about Electo the Ninth, specifically on making theories. I really had fun with this one. It definitely took me a lot longer to make it for various behind the scenes reasons, but I did really enjoy making that video, and I really did enjoy talking about the Lock's Tomb series and trying to think of how on earth is this series gonna end? What do I hope for? What I think is gonna happen? And my reasons why? If I have any reasons, or it's just gonna be some weird speculations, who knows? But honestly, I really had fun making that video. And yeah, so if you also a Lock's Tomb series fan and you have some theories, definitely check out that video. I will link it up above and in the description. All right, next question. Most beautiful book you've bought this year? Honestly, I've definitely bought some books, but as far as it being beautiful or aesthetically pleasing, I don't know if a lot of these books I have bought this year would be considered. So I only really have two, because it was really hard for me to figure out like what is considered like a beautiful book aesthetically, because I don't really have any special editions, but I do have books with pretty covers, so we'll go with that. So we have The Last Tale of the Flower by Roshani Chokshi, and we also had Blood Debts by Terry J. Benson Walker. This one is an adult. This is actually Roshani Chokshi's adult debut. This is a gothic fairy tale. And this one is actually a debut novel as well by Terry J. Benson Walker. This one is YA contemporary fantasy. And honestly, I haven't read Blood Depths yet. This is a TBR one for sure. All I know is we're following twins and generational magic. And I think there's blood magic or something. Or maybe voodoo or something like that. I don't know. All I know is it takes place in New Orleans. So looking forward to that. This one I have read in May. So again, you'll hear my thoughts on my wrap-up. But I really did enjoy this one. And honestly, I do recommend it, to be honest. I really do. At least to give it a try, but it definitely has it does have purple prose. So if you're not a fan of purple prose, then don't look for this one. Also, look for content warnings for these books. Definitely, for sure. If you haven't read this one, I definitely have to look for content warnings, just be sure, because this one also was pretty dark. This one I think also gets pretty dark, and also apparently this is a first in a duology or a series. I don't know about the duology part, but I do know this is actually first in a series. So I'm just like, okay. All right, y'all. Last question. What books do you need to read by the end of the year? Y'all, I have multiple answers for this question, but we're just gonna narrow it down to 4 books, okay? Okay, so first up in the books I really need to read by this year. The Grace of Kings by Ken Liu, the first installment in the Dandelion Dynasty. I've had this book, not quite for a long while. I did buy it this year because I do intend to read this series. But I only got the first book because I wasn't sure if this is really going to be the series for me. And I really have been intimidated by it because of the length. Honestly, it really is because of the length. This first book is already over 600 pages, and the books do get longer as you go on, and it is a quartet, so also a longer commitment. So, yeah. But I am looking forward to reading it. I just need to find I need to find some way to motivate me. Maybe, I don't know, does anyone want to butter read this with me or something to get me to read this book? Because, I don't know, I need some motivation, and I'm genuinely scared. Maybe I need someone to butter read this with. So if y'all want to butter read this with me, let me know in the comments down below. Another book as well, How to Read Now by Elaine Castillo. This is an essay collection, and I have been wanting to read this for some time now. I have actually did already start reading this, but I did have to DNF it, not because of anything bad with it, but because it really was just, I was not in the headspace to start absorbing these essays right now. So I was like, yeah, let me put you down. I'm going to put you down and then come back to you when I'm really in the headspace for it. So yeah, but it definitely is really, really good though. So looking forward to whenever I get back to this. And then these two are honestly for the 12 Ricks by 12 Friends challenge on Instagram. So we have Confessions by Kane Minato, and then we have A Song for the Well Built by Becky Chambers. This one, I think is first in is this a duology? I don't know if this is a duology, but this is a novella, sci-fi fantasy novella series. And this one is I think this is a translated thriller. Yeah. I think this is translated. I don't know if this is a translated work or not, but I think it is. But yeah, I definitely want to I actually really want to read these ones because these ones are short, especially for the 12 Ricks by 12 Friends challenge. I'm like, these are short. I can get to these. Why am I taking forever to read these books? I don't know. This one, I'm just like, why? What is taking me so long to read this? I don't know what's taking me so long. Like, let's actually get a move on with this one. And this one, I'm just like, come on now. It's like right there. It's short. Just read it, Just read it. Like, these ones are short, and I'm scared for the Grace of Kings, and yet I haven't read these ones yet? What's up with that? But yes, that is pretty much all. That is all the questions, and as y'all could tell, I had indeed multiple answers for almost all of these questions, which is very much in fashion for me. If you ever watch any of my other book tag videos, which honestly, I will link them in the cards and actually put them in the description down below as well for y'all to see in my other book tag videos. And I definitely want to do more book tag videos. That is all. Thank you all again for coming onto this channel. If you're new here, please like this video if you liked it. Comment down below your thoughts or your answers for any of these questions. Click on if you want to subscribe, definitely subscribe. Make sure you click on the bell thing so y'all can be notified when I actually do upload another video or when I do reading sprints. And if you're not totally sure what to comment, but you want to let me know you've made it this far into the video, comment down below a crown emoji in honor of the Grace of Kings in order to motivate me to read the Grace of Kings, because Lord knows that I need that motivation. But anyways, thank you again for coming to this channel, and I hope to see you all in my next video. Bye.